Hi. So, this isn't very much not how I would usually do something like this, but I'm trying something new today. I usually would like write a script and then edit to match my script, whereas this time I've actually edited all the footage to look how I want it to, and then I'm like narrating over the top as I watch it. It's a bit different. I don't know how well that'll work, but that's what I'm trying anyway. I've not done an unboxing before either, so let's just try all the new things all in one go. So what I'm planning to do is to just like dip in and out of this as things come up, rather than talking over the entire thing. One of the reasons I'm even doing this, really, is just because I thought it was a really nice box. It's like the most boring reason, but it was just surprisingly nice packaging, and I was like, oh, this is nice. And then I was like, well, I've just bought that stuff so I could do overhead camera shots, so maybe I'll unbox it. You might also notice that some of it looks like it's already been opened, and that's because it's already been opened. I recorded this after I put my video up for the game, so obviously I needed to have opened it to make the video for the game. So I literally just opened it all up, got the game out, and put it all back away. But yeah, so that's why it looks like that. The first box is side stuff that I ordered as well. I ordered the Amiibo, and then the coin and the luggage tag just sort of came as pre-order bonuses. So the coin's in this like plastic case, and I honestly can't tell if you can open the case or not. I couldn't work out how. I suppose it doesn't really matter, but it just felt a bit weird. Like I expected to be able to open it and I just can't. The luggage tag, I really don't like it. It feels okay. It was surprisingly difficult to open and close. I also find it really weird having the information on like the inside of the buckle, because I don't think it's like obviously a luggage tag. Okay, maybe a bit obvious, but you're like, I don't think, because it's not for like you, is it? It's for other people if they're like, find your luggage. And I don't think most people are going to realise they have to unbuckle it from your luggage to be able to read the information on the inside. Like, I wouldn't have immediately understood that there was information on the inside if I hadn't already understood that it was a luggage tag. When I first opened it, I was like, where do I put my stuff? And it wasn't until I unbuckled it that I found it. I was just very thrown by that design. I also really don't like the buckle. I had a lot of trouble closing it. When it comes to the Amiibo, this probably looks really weird. It's something I started doing quite a while ago, because for a long time I wouldn't even open Amiibo boxes at all. I'd just leave them closed forever and never take the Amiibo out. But I realised there's like a perforation at the very bottom of the box, and if you get a knife in, you can slit it across. So what I do from that is I pop the perforations all along the bottom and then cut along the edges, and like I use it to make like a little flap, and then I pull the Amiibo out from underneath. And it means I get to keep the box looking like relatively display ready, while also being able to use the Amiibo whenever I want to, which I just think is like quite nice. The only problem I've got is that it's not like massively time consuming, but it is a bit time consuming. You won't have seen that in the video because I actually trimmed out all of that, but it took like nearly 5 or 10 minutes to cut it out of the box like that. But that means that I've got a load of Amiibos that I just never did that with. Like I've got all of the original Breath of the Wild Amiibos, and I don't think I did that to any of them, except maybe Link. I definitely didn't do it to the Guardian. As for the Amiibo itself, it's fine. Just one thing about it, to my patrons, you may have been expecting a different video. This isn't that. You'll be getting that eventually, but it was like a complete mess. I ended up having to buy some stuff, and that stuff came in, but it came in so late that I couldn't make the one I was going to make, but that did lend itself to making this instead. And I was like, might be nice to try. So I did. I was not really all that interested in Tears of the Kingdom. I felt really strange about this because Zelda has always been like my main thing. Like there's a couple of glimpses during the video where you might get to see my tattoo. I've got a massive like Zelda tattoo on my arm. And it's actually from Breath of the Wild, but I just thought it looked nice, honestly. Well, I mean, I not designed it because it's just the official design, but I like recolored it to look the way I wanted it to, that sort of thing. But this time, this new Zelda game was coming out, and I was so much more excited for the 6.4 patch for 14 that's coming out like next week over this, because I don't really like Breath of the Wild, and this just seems like more Breath of the Wild so far. Like, I'm only a couple of hours in, but so far it's just more Breath of the Wild, and there's already bits of it I really don't like. I don't like how using the Ultra Hand feels. I don't like that you can only rotate things in 2 axes. It doesn't feel right. You can only rotate them in certain positions and directions. It means that you're always rotating it to face you, then rotating it into the way you want, as opposed to just rotating it the way you want in the first place. I feel like either it should be able to rotate it in 3 axes like you normally would, or there should be like a button that automatically orientates it to you, and then you can rotate it however you want. I feel like that would play a lot better, but anyway, this is getting kind of off track. So, as I mentioned earlier, this box has already been opened, which is why the seals are cut. I also, try and slide it up and then realise that it's way too close to the camera, so I couldn't actually slide it up, which is why I have to, angle the box to slide the top off it at one point. So like I already mentioned, I've already opened the game at this point, and when I was recording this in my head I was like, oh, I've already looked at this, I can just put it to the side. I realised that would have been a better time to actually look at the game for the video's sake. I do that later, but that's why I didn't do it then. The steelbook's nice, but I don't see the point in steelbooks anymore. There was a time when steelbooks would replace the original game case, and then they started just doing steelbooks as well as the original game case, and then it's like, well, now I'll just have 2 cases. Yeah, the steelbook looks nice, but they also tend to be just kind of worse to use. I don't know, I never see the point in them. These badges look really nice. They're really good quality badges, but I have no use for badges. And also, they were an absolute nightmare to get out of that box. Between each badge that I put up on screen, there is about 5 minutes of faffing about that I've cut out, because the foam that they were packaging was so tight that I just couldn't get them out. I ended up pulling the foam itself out of the box, and then popping each one out. You can also see my face now. That's also a nice little shot of my overhead camera. I didn't realise just how reflective that was at the time. I like art books, but for one thing I never really look at them. I look at them sometimes, but not particularly often. And the other thing is that at the very least I don't want to look at it right now, because the game's only just come out, I'm not familiar with anything, so I don't want to go through and look at all of the stuff that is going to come up in the game that I'm about to play. I'll go through the game and maybe look at the art book later, but for right now I'm not really going to look at it. It's definitely nice though. It's a better quality art book than I was expecting, I'll say that. So this steel poster, I always thought it looked nice, but I was never really all that interested in getting it. But after I opened it, it's actually a lot nicer than I expected. I didn't realise it was going to be one of those magnetised wall mounting ones, and I especially didn't realise they were going to give you the mount for it as well, so that's nice. I kind of wish the picture itself was matte though, or if not explicitly matte, at least less reflective. It's too reflective. I wish it wasn't as reflective as it is, but I mean it does look really nice. I end up putting it away later, but the only reason is because I haven't worked out where to put it yet. And I figured it'd be safer to keep it away than to leave it out somewhere to get, like, wrecked. This is also when I started putting things really high up in the frame for some reason. I didn't realise I was doing that. Like, it wasn't until I started watching it back that I realised I was, like, really high up the frame for some reason, but... So yeah, this is where I just look at the game. I don't really have much to say. I've already kind of, like, talked about it, but I'm really not into it at the moment. I've heard that there are actual dungeons in this game, and if that's true, once I get to those, maybe I'll like it more. But like, the whole combining stuff thing, I'm like, yeah, this is fine, but it just, a lot of it just doesn't scream Zelda to me. It feels like with Breath of the Wild, I've spoken about this before, at length. It feels like they kind of just, it's an open world game with a Zelda coat of paint, essentially. Like, it could have been any other game, but it is a Zelda game. And I feel like this is like, kind of the same. The mechanics don't scream Zelda to me, you know what I mean? The mechanics are like, cool ideas that could have gone anywhere. Like, I don't know, I'm thinking about making a video about what makes Zelda Zelda, so that might be coming up soon. Who knows? I have a habit of deciding to make videos and then they never happen. But I'm thinking about that because, like, it's something I really care about. Every couple of weeks I think to myself that I'm just going to stop making videos, because like, they never do particularly well, I just like making them. And then I end up buying loads more stuff so that I can make videos better. So, I don't know, that'll probably just continue. But that's entirely why I bought this overhead camera setup. But yeah, that's it. I think it was nice. It was fun to unbox. I've never done one of these before, and it was fun to try. There's definitely things I'd do better next time. I think I'd try and make sure that I can see what I'm doing a little bit better so that it's framed a bit easier. Maybe put like hard limits up on the outside edges of the frame so I know where I'm working. I had a screen off to the side that kind of showed me stuff, so I was kind of like checking that every now and again to see if I was alright, and it seemed okay, but because it was so far away I couldn't quite tell, so that was like why I'm so close to the top of the frame and stuff like that. But yeah, it was fun to do, and it took less time than I expected. Also, this is me struggling to put the slipcover back on. I end up damaging the cover, but it smoothed out okay, so you can't really tell, but it was a bit of a mess. To be honest, it's unlikely I'll ever do anything like this again, but maybe if people send me things. I say that like that's something that might happen. Like, technically, it could. It's just incredibly unlikely. It might happen again, maybe not. But I'll use this setup again for the video I was talking about at the start. But anyway, thanks for watching. Special thanks to my patrons, Justin Wood, Hobbs, Koopy Vegeta, and Gunrunner. You can join my patrons at patreon.com/Holden Gatsby, check out my TikTok and Twitter at Holden Gatsby, and follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Holden Gatsby. Don't forget to subscribe to all of my channels. If you want more, you can watch my last video now, but if not, then thanks for sticking around. Bye.